John Vincent Damon's death in August 2010 plunged his family into mourning. His son described his father as a model parent. "He was almost too supportive," he said 12 years later. "He was eager for my sister and me to have the best experiences and opportunities possible." It was therefore a great shock for him to discover in August 2022 that his beloved father had murdered his own parents and that his real name was William Leslie Arnold. In September 1958, Leslie Arnold first shot his mother and then his father. He was angry because his mother wouldn't allow him to use the car to go to the drive-in with his girlfriend. Opal Arnold was also displeased with her 16-year-old son's choice of girlfriend, describing her as white trash. Leslie was furious and retrieved his father's gun from their bedroom, shooting Opal dead. When William walked in with groceries a few minutes later, Leslie shot him too. After this bloodbath, Leslie took his girlfriend to see the movie The Undead. The following evening, Leslie buried his parents under a lilac bush in the garden. He sent his younger brother to stay with neighbors under the pretense that his parents had suddenly left to resolve an urgent issue with his grandparents. Leslie continued attending school as if nothing had happened. However, after nearly 2 weeks, his grandparents grew suspicious and Leslie confessed. William Leslie Arnold was sentenced to life imprisonment in June 1959 for the 2 murders he had committed. In August 1967, Leslie and a fellow inmate escaped, fleeing to Chicago, where Leslie married Jean Bouvier in November under the name John Damon. John Damon divorced his wife in 1978 and remarried in 1983. His daughter by his second wife was born in 1986, and his son 5 years later. In 1992, the family moved to New Zealand, and in 1997, they settled in Australia, where John passed away in 2010. Throughout their life with John, the Damon family believed he was an orphan from Chicago with no relatives. More than 10 years later, however, his son wondered if there might still be family in America and submitted a DNA sample to an online DNA database. He was stunned when Agent Westover from the U.S. Marshals contacted him to ask for more details about his father. Various law enforcement agencies in the USA had been trying for years to find out what happened to Leslie Arnold after his escape. Even the FBI had been involved at one point, but the case was finally handed over to Westover of the U.S. Marshals in 2020. Westover tracked down Leslie's younger brother in 2020 and persuaded him to provide a DNA sample. This strategy led to Westover contacting John Damon's son in 2022. With this, the authorities were able to piece together the puzzle, and Damon's son learned more about his father. "I believe this wasn't exactly the news he would have wanted to hear." His comment to Westover was, "Although it's shocking to know that he started his life with a horrific crime, his legacy is so much more than just that act. I want to remember him as a good father and provider, for instilling in me a love for music, and for inspiring me to be the best person I can be."